A chilling warning tonight from the nation's spy chief. The Iranian regime may orchestrate the murder of Australians as part of its hate campaign against Jews. It comes as the federal government confirms the last remaining ISIS bride has been cleared to return home under strict surveillance.
With his little red book of secrets, Mike Burgess says the terror threat is worsening.
Probable does not tell the full story.
ASIO's tackled 14 significant terror cases since the Bondi massacre, the spy boss saying politically motivated violence now more likely than just probable, as Iran exports its anti-Semitic fear campaign.
And could conduct or inspire acts of arson, vandalism or even assassinations on Australian soil.
Confirming an Iranian-based Australian was behind the 2024 firebombing of a Bondi deli, and that Tehran had directed the attack on Melbourne's Adass Israel synagogue through an Australian based in Iraq, believed to be organised crime kingpin Kazem Hamad.
We know who you are, we know what you've done, and we know who you work for.
The ASIO boss says the emerging threat is from people radicalised online who mount unsophisticated attacks with little or no warning. The conflict in the Middle East continuing to fuel concern. The last of the so-called ISIS brides cleared to come home. Initially blocked from returning with other women and children, a temporary exclusion order has been lifted.
She will have to report and we will have to know where she lives, where she works, where she studies.
The full use of my organisation's capability and powers will be used when this individual returns to this country.
Her 9-year-old daughter, who has shrapnel embedded in her head, pelvis and foot, is expected to have surgery on their return. Andrew Probin, 9 News.
Adass Israel synagogue in Melbourne.
Face an unprecedented number of threats and an unprecedented cumulative level of harm. The diversity.
ASIO has foiled 31 major terror plots since 2014, including 14 plots just in the last 6 months. Live now to terrorism expert and associate professor at Deakin University, Josh Roos. Welcome to you, Josh. Just listen to those numbers again. 30 terror plots just over the past decade, but 14 since the Bondi terror attack last December. Is that unusual in your mind?
Look, it certainly is in recent years. This is an incredibly complex environment where we're seeing the intersection of state-sponsored terrorism, local domestic terrorism, but also, in particular, young men being radicalised online. I believe Director-General said that their caseload in any given week might be 30 or 40 cases. So that speaks to the environment. What
sort of terror plots could they be?
Look, we're talking everything from extreme right terror plots, for example, the attack on the Indigenous protest over in Perth, Islamic Salafi jihadist extremist plots from young men. We're also talking the potential for more state-sponsored terrorist attacks, like we saw with the Adass synagogue attack in Melbourne.
And it sounds like they're being radicalised much quicker. Why do you think that is?
Look, online environments are playing a key role. We know that young men are spending, and in particular young men, are spending hundreds of hours a month online in these encrypted forums and in social media forums where extremism is not only celebrated but become the norm. And they're engaging, they're looking for something, they're looking for belonging, they're looking for a source of meaning, and they're finding it in these really quite extreme environments.
In these dark places. One of the things that was concerning is that ASIO said they've left our threat level at probable, but the likelihood of violence has increased beyond probable. Is that alarming for us?
Look, it's quite unprecedented for the Director-General to be talking in this way, because that probable means that there's a greater than 50% chance of an attack, meaning that on any given day, there's a greater chance than not. Expected means that they've got specific intelligence about a plot. He's saying that ultimately, in the current environment, they can't say that they know about a specific plot, but there is so much extremist material, but also activism and so many extremists out there that it's greater than 50%, basically, and that's deeply concerning.
Yep, it is, and it's not what we want to hear. Thanks for updating us, Josh.